Hello there, welcome to the Media Coach video tip. Today I want to talk to you about the power of story. We're all storytellers. Everyone who gets up and presents, whether they're doing a keynote speech or a workshop or a seminar, or even just having a conversation, we tell stories. And people respond to stories that they hear. But here's the thing I think is very important about storytelling, particularly if you're a speaker, a professional speaker, a trainer, workshop leader. Tell your own stories. They're much more powerful, they're easier to remember, and you can make a very, very strong point. The thing is, I've heard a lot of people over the years telling stories that I know are not their own. Now, normally they give the source. They talk about where they heard the story, or they say it's an apocryphal story or a story that they came across. And they assume that it's okay to use that story because it makes a good point, and often it does. They work that well. Some people say it's okay if the audience hasn't heard the story before. Well, that may be the case, but it's still not your story, is it? You can't invest yourself into the story in the same way that you can if it's your own. I always credit a great friend of mine, Lou Heckler from Florida, who says, we don't tell and retell stories on stage, we live and relive stories on stage. And you can only live and relive a story if it's your story that you're telling. So I would urge you that when you're creating stories to make points, whatever the audience, whatever the circumstance, that you use your own stories wherever possible. Talk about the feelings you had at the time. Don't just talk about the facts. Make the point very strongly. You may need to work on your stories a bit. You may need to work on them so that they really do make a strong point. You can even add little things to them. That's okay. You're a storyteller. You're not a reporter. The thing is, if you tell your own stories, people will remember them. People will recommend you because they want other people to hear the same stories, and they will have much stronger impacts than stories that you get from somewhere else, stories that you've heard somewhere else. And of course, the biggest danger of all, if you're speaking at an event, somebody may have done the same story the day before or a couple of days previous, and then you're in big trouble because the audience suddenly thinks, we've heard this before, who is this person? So, tell your own stories, make your own points, live and relive your stories, and your audiences will love you for it. I wish you the best of luck.